Hello. Hello everyone. Am I audible? Okay. So guys, let's start. Is I am audible to everyone? Please reply in the comments. Am I audible? Hello. Am I audible? So guys, let's start. First of all, this course is designed to teach you the foundation of programming in Python. We are excited to join you in this journey as you will learn one of the most in-demand job skills in IT today. This course requires no previous knowledge of programming. Guys, here is the roadmap that we are going to follow for the bootcamp, and we will be covering the following topics. First is Hello Python, where we will be teaching what are the basics of programming and what is the basis of Python. Then basic syntax of the Python. The basic syntax of the Python will be taught here. Loops will be taught, which will be covered in tomorrow's lecture, and list and dictionary, which will also be covered in tomorrow's lecture. Let's start with Hello Python. Before starting Python, let us cover some of the basic concepts of programming. First of all, what is a program? Do comment in the section what do you know about what a program is. anyone, you can type your comments. The program is nothing but recipe or set of instructions written in a particular programming language. A program tell our machine what to do. Now, a program is written in a programming language. So we must know what is a programming language. Programming language is similar to human language, and it has some of its own syntax and is specifically designed for computers, as computers don't understand the human languages. So it is a huge conflict when we know what is the difference between a script and a program. There is a thick line difference in script and a program. Script is nothing, but it is also a program that is short, simple, and can be written quickly. Are you guys able to grasp what I am saying? Do you understand the difference between a script and a program? If yes, please comment. Hello, let's proceed further. So, when it comes to Python, Python was released almost 30 years ago, and Python has recently been called the fastest growing programming language. Python is simple and easy to understand. Now, our machine understands only the machine language, so we need a program to read the content of our program and translate it into the machine language for the CPU to understand. That is done in case of Python by Python compile interpreter. Python's interpreter translates the Python program into machine language so that the machine can analyze the program and do as per we said. Coming to keywords and functions. Keywords are reserved words that are used to construct instructions. Keywords are the core part of the language and can only be used in specific ways. Some examples include if, while, and for. We will discuss if, while, and for in our upcoming lecture. Functions. Functions are the piece of code that perform a specific unit of work. Coming to the basic syntax of Python. Now, as you understand, what is Python? What is covered up to now, you can ask in the comment section. I will wait for 30 seconds for the Q&A session. Any queries, guys? Then let's proceed further with our discussion. Get ready. We are going to use the Python interpreter to make our computer say hello world. When we run this code, either locally on our machine or on a web interpreter, the word "Hello World" will appear on the screen just like magic. Let's see how it works. We will be using Google Colab for the same. If you guys have Python installed on your device, then you can use that also. Or else you can use Google Colab. That is a good platform. You can search for Google Colab on Google and you can proceed. Open Google Colab and create a new notebook. Something like this will load up on your screen. As I have Jupyter Lab already installed in my computer, I will go with Jupyter Lab. But you can use Google Colab as it is an alternative for the same. If you have Python already installed with you, you can also go for that. There is no issue with that also. So let's print hello world. Print and hello world. We press shift and enter to get the desired output. And see, hello world is printed on our screen. Have you guys done till now? Have you printed hello world on your screen? Are you able to follow? So let's continue. If you guys are able to follow up, that's great. Or I request you to review the video once the live lecture is completed and follow up as per your speed. Actually, it's not magic. It's because Python is a print is a Python function that writes what we tell it on the screen, like the statement hello world, for example. The print function is a part of basic Python language. Whenever we use keyword or function that are a part of the language, we are using the programming language's syntax to tell computer what to do. Let's try to print something else. Let us assign a value to a variable dot mark and enter. Let's try to print a. Woohoo! Dot question mark here. In Python, the text between the quotes, either single quote or double quote, is a string data type. Let's see how what is a string is. For example, if I assign a dot question mark, it is enclosed between double quote, or if I assign now it is also a string in Python. Let's continue further. An integer is a whole number without a fraction, while float is a real number that contains a fractional part. Let's see float and integers in action in our Jupyter Lab. D equals to 113, as it is an integral number without a fractional part. It is an integer. C equal to 7. This is also an integer. For example, 1, 7, 342 are all integers, while 5.3, 3.14, and 6.0 are float variables because they contain decimal points. Let's assign some values to float also. For example, D equal to 11.3, E equals to 7.0. All these values are float. Now you must be confused how to differentiate between the variables. And alert for you. When you attempt to make incompatible data types, you may encounter a type error, which we will also cover in the upcoming video. So, coming to the type function. Type function tells us about the data type of the variable. You must be wondering what a data type is. Data type is nothing but a container which can store specific type of element. Like a container for alphabet can store alphabets only and not numbers. Let us verify the data type of the variables assigned above in our notebook. For example, we assign a string to A. Now let's verify. We use the type function and pass A as an argument to the function and run it. It is string data type. If we see the type of B and C, they must be integers because B and C are integers. Type of B or type of C. C, both are integers. When it comes to D and E, they are floating variables, floating points. So let's see the type. Type of B and type of E. Both are floating points. Let's go back to previous slide and have a look on Boolean and complex data types. Boolean and complex data types are also mentioned. Boolean values are true and false. Complex values represent the complex numbers. So Boolean is a special data type that answers true or false. Let's see how Boolean is and what is the data type for the Boolean. If I see the data type of true, it is a Boolean value. If I also see the data type of false, it is also a Boolean value. Further, complex numbers are also available in Python to work with, and complex numbers work with imaginary part also. Let's see that also. I am assigning complex equal to 3 plus 5j. It is in the form of a plus bj, and we can also see the type of complex type of C of n. It is a complex number. If you are able to follow up till now, please mention yes in the comment section. I will continue then. Now it comes to errors. What are errors? Let's see an error also. Suppose I am printing still standing plus 1 3. We have encountered our first error. Let's see. Error is nothing but way to deal with. Don't frustrate yourself when it comes to error. Think of error as a clue from the programming language, which is helping us to improve our skills. Let's look at the error we have just encountered. This error is a type error, which says that we can only concatenate string to string. Let's correct this. So, as the error says, we can only concatenate string to string. So let's convert 113 into string also. Now we are able to do it. So when we ask computer to perform an operation for us, we usually need to store values and give them names so that we can refer to them later. This is where variables comes in handy. Variables are the name that we give to certain values of our program. Those values can be of any data type, number, string, or even the result of some operation. We have already used variables in some of our initial examples, like we use them to store a name or a value. Now, we are going to learn exactly how they work and how to make the most of them. Think of variables as when you create a variable in your code, your computer reserves a chunk of its memory to store the data. This lets the computer access the variable later to read or modify the value. Let's see how a variable is created. I am using a variable identifier name and I am assigning my name to it. The variable is assigned. Now, I can access the variable multiple times without having to write cases again and again. For example, print hello plus name, print hello welcome plus name. Let's proceed further. As you saw, the variable can be accessed multiple times. So far, we have covered a lot of things, and assignment and expressions are one of them. So have a look at their definitions, and let's continue. Please please read the definition and tell if everything is fine till now. If you have any queries, you can comment them in the comment section. There are some variable naming conventions as specified by Python. Variable naming conventions in Python are: we should not use reserved keywords. We should not use spaces between the variable name. Variable name must start with letter or underscore. Variables must only use letters, numbers, and underscore and no other special symbols. Let's see how to create variables. If I am using a reserved keyword, then Python will prompt a error, like I am using while is equal to 5. Python says invalid syntax. Now, if I use space between my variable name, hello world is equal to 7. Similarly, there is error. I can also not use a number or a special symbol at the rate var is equal to 3. Invalid syntax. So, what must be a valid syntax? A valid syntax must use letters, numbers, and underscore. Let's create a perfect variable hello underscore world is equal to 1. This is the perfect syntax. Please remember the Python variable naming conventions as they are very important. So a question, what is the difference between Jupyter Notepad and Anaconda? Anaconda is the interpreter for Python and Jupyter Notepad is the GUI view for that. Is it okay? Coming to the conversion. Implicit conversion. Implicit conversion is where interpreter helps us out and automatically convert one data type into another without having to tell us what to do. So let's see how implicit conversion works. For example, as we know, float and integer cannot perform operation on different data types. Let's try to add integer and a float value. 7 plus 3.59. The result is 10.59, which is a floating variable itself. So here the Python does its work and automatically converts one data type to another. Let's try another example. Then 2.5 divided by 5. It's 0.5. So Python automatically converts 7 and 5 into the floating variable. But see, why we need explicit conversion? Explicit conversion is where we manually convert from one data type to another by calling the relevant function for the data type we want to convert to. Let's see this in action also. We previously encountered an error here. As we can only concatenate string to string. So instead of converting it into string and keeping it as an integer value only, we can use explicit conversion and print the value. The str, which will keep it to its original form and will convert the integer to a string. Now it's okay. Here, data of integer is converted to string. Much more to explore. Let's see how much you can do. I am creating a post on LinkedIn. Do comment to know about what you know about type conversion in Python. Please write a comment here. I will also share the link to the post in the comment section of the video. Who will comment and will perform the Kahoot quiz will receive goodies from our end. The winner will receive the goodies. What do you think of conversion in Python? I'm posting it and I'm sharing the link for the post in the comment section. We will also share the link in the Python group. Let's proceed further. Functions. We looked at a few examples of built-in functions in Python, but being able to define our own function is incredibly powerful. We will start a function definition with the def keyword followed by the name we want to give to our function. After the name, we have the parameters also, called the argument, for the function enclosed in parentheses. A function can have no parameters or it can have multiple parameters. Parameters allow us to call a function and pass its data, with the data being available inside the function. As variables with the same name, we put the parameter. Lastly, we put a colon at the end of the line. After the colon, the function body starts. It is important to note that in Python, the function body is delimited by indentation. This means that all the code indented to the right following a function definition is part of function body. The first line that is no longer intended is the boundary of function. Let's see and create a function of our own. We are defining a function using the dash keyword, then function name sum. We are passing the parameters a and b and a colon. Now the code is indented by 4 spaces. Now we need to tell what we need to do with the function. I am printing the sum of a and b. The function is now displayed. Let's call the function and see if it is performing its result or not. Sum 7 and 5. Sum is 12. Sum 7 and 6. Now we have created our first Python function. Sometimes we don't want a function to simply run and finish. We want a function to manipulate data. We pass it and then return something to it. This is where the concept of return values come in handy. We use the return keyword in a function which tells the function to pass data back. To call the function, we can store the returned value in a variable. Return value allow our function to be more flexible and powerful, so they can be reused and called multiple times. Let's see this in action also. Let's convert our sum function to return the sum of the values. Def sum a comma b, and now we are returning a plus b. S1 is variable here, and we are assigning what is returned to the variable. To see what is our result, we need to print the value of S1. Now the result of sum is stored rather than being printed, so can be accessed multiple times, and we need not to call the function again and again. Coming further to floor division and modulo. Let us look at some of the operations in Python, floor division and modulo. Both of these work on the concept of integer division, where floor division returns the integer quotient and modulus returns the remainder. Let's see them in action also. For example, if I am 51 by 2, it will give the remainder 1 and quotient is 25. As floor division give the quotient is 25. And if I 51 modulus 2, then it will give the remainder 51 on being divided by 2 give remainder 1, and here is it. In Python, we can use comparison operator to compare values. When a comparison is made, Python returns a Boolean result or simply a true or false. To check if two values are same, we can use the equality operator double equal to check if two values are not same, we can use the not equal operator exclamation equal to. We can also check if values are greater than or lesser than each other using less than and greater than symbol. Let's see if 1 is equal to 1. It's true, and but when I compare 1 with 5, it's false. Let's see the not equal operator also. 1 is not equal to 1, which is a false statement, so it returns false. 1 is not equal to 5, which is a true statement. Let's also compare less than and greater than equal to. 1 is greater than 5, which is false, and 1 is less than 5, which is a true statement. Let's proceed further. None. None is a special data type in Python and is used to indicate that things are empty or they have returned nothing. Let's see the data type of none. Type of none. It's none type. And when a none variable is assigned, let's copy the sum function we have defined to print the value of a and b and define the function again. Now the sum value is printing. If we assign the value of sum 7, 2, the result is printed, but the function didn't return anything. So let's see what the value of s1 is. It's none. We can make very complex comparisons by joining statements together using logical operators with other comparison operators. These logical operators are AND, OR, and NOT. When we use the AND operator, both sides of the statement being evaluated must be true for the whole statement to be true. Let's see. For example, if I'm saying 1 is less than 2 and 2 is less than 3, then the statement is true. But even if one of the statement is false, for example, 1 is less than 2 and 2 is greater than 3, which is a 1 is a false statement, so it will evaluate to false. For AND operator to return true, both of the statements must be true. When using the OR operator, if either side of the comparison is true, the whole statement is true. If both statements are false, then OR is false. For example, if we use the same with OR, it will return true because either of the side can be true. But if both the statements are false, then OR will return false. At last, NOT operator. NOT operator simply inverts the value of the statement immediately following it. So, if a statement evaluates to true and we put NOT operator in front of it, it will become false. For example, not true will return false and not false will return true. We can also use the concept of branching to our code after its execution sequence depending on the value of variables. We can use an if statement to evaluate a comparison We start with if keyword followed by our comparison. We end the line with a colon. Body of if statement is indented to the right. If the comparison is true, the code inside the if body is executed. If the comparison evaluates to false, then code block is skipped and will not be run. Let's see. For example, if I set the value of num to 7 and then check if num is not equal to 0, then print non-zero. See, we got non-zero based on the condition. And if I alter and if I select if num is equal to 0, then nothing will be evaluated. But what if we want the code to do something else? If it evaluates to false, we can do this using the else statement. Else statement follows an if block and is composed of the keyword else followed by a colon. The body of else statement is intended to the right and will be expected if above if statement does not execute. Let's see the execution of else statement. If num equal to 0, then print 0, else print non-zero. As the number was 7 as assigned here, so the value was not 0, so it printed non-zero. Now elif statement. Elif statement allows us to do even more comparison and to perform more complex branching. If elif is very similar to if statement. It starts with the elif keyword followed by a comparison to be evaluated and it is followed by a colon. Then an elif statement must follow an if statement and will be evaluated only if statement evaluates to false. Let's see. I am using if num equal to 0, then print 0. Elif, the number is not even, then print odd, and else print even. So it is odd as number was 7. Let us assign number equal to 0 and try it. If num equal to 0, it will evaluate to 0. And if num is equal to 2, then it will evaluate to even. This is the elif statement in working. Now, time for the Kahoot quiz. You have understood the knowledge. Kahoot quiz in action. Let's play our Kahoot quiz, and I am hosting it. Connect it with it to see who will win the awards and goodies. The game is loading. Kahoot is loading. Everyone, please open the website kahoot.it. If anyone has any queries, he or she can also post it in the comment section. Open Kahoot.it and use the game pin as shown on the screen. Open it on a different device than which you are using it on. Chetan, just open Kahoot.it. Let us wait for the players to join. Then we will start with our quiz. We are waiting till 5 minutes and we will start the quiz then. Only 7 players. Let's wait for a few minutes for others to join. Guys, we will only wait 3 more minutes and we will start the quiz at 3:50. Let us start the quiz. Waiting for only 1 more minute. I'm starting the quiz now. Let's start. Only 8 correct answers. Only 8 correct answers. Proceed to next question. Guys, this is the leaderboard, and Petrarch has won it. The overall ranking will be calculated on the basis of today's round and tomorrow's round. So please join tomorrow, and the winner of the both days will get the goodies from our end. Thank you guys, and join our 30 days of data science series for further.